There is drama in Dallas, and this time it's not because of the Dallas Housewives. Rather, the drama today has found itself in one of the most unfamiliar territories. But that has all changed because it is believed that Doncic is now stalling on his new deal because of a rift with Haralabos Voulgaris, one of the executives at the franchise. If you want to catch the next destination of Luka Doncic, stay till the end of the video to catch all the rumors and what exactly is happening at Dallas. Before we get into the video, if you want to win a PS5 with NBA 2K21 and Madden NFL 21 included, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. Luka Doncic is no ordinary player by any standard. Otherwise, the 6'7" 22-year-old wouldn't be gathering all this buzz. At the age of just 22, the Slovenian go-getter is so good that at the beginning of the season, he was once again gathering momentum in his quest to win the MVP award. That's no ordinary thing, especially when you consider that it's just his third season in the NBA and he's already being positioned ahead of some really good players. Luka Doncic's size and complete game have called many comparisons to the likes of King James, Larry Bird, and James Harden. Doncic also plays the game like he has been doing it for so long, and he has one of the best basketball IQs in the league. A good example of when Doncic reminded everyone why he should and will be on their radar if he is indeed looking to leave the Mavericks came in the third quarter of Game 2 of the Mavericks' first-round series against the Clippers. With just 40 seconds left in the game, Doncic pushed the ball up the court, looking for a 2-for-1 opportunity. So, he pulled up from 3 feet behind the three-point line and took a one-legged fadeaway across his body with Rajon Rondo wrapped all over him. Pretty crazy. It's not that the shot was impossible, it's the fact that Luka even had the audacity to try it in the first place. And really, audacity is one thing. There are many people on the court with that audacity, but no skill to complement it. But Luka is one of the few players who completely balance the two. Luka always plays with that kind of confidence, and it's easy for people to look at that kind of stuff and call it arrogance. But when you look at the likes of Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, James, and Michael Jordan, that arrogance is necessary. That's not to say we are putting Doncic in the same light as the names we mentioned. We're just trying to sell our point that you need arrogance to be a beast in the game. In that game, Doncic looked like he might as well have been putting up circus shots after practice. It takes only a player as accomplished as Doncic to attempt the kind of shots he goes in for. Ask him about his early success in the NBA and he will simply tell you about how long he's been a pro. Doncic signed his first contract with the biggest sporting brand in Spain, Real Madrid, at just the age of 13. And honestly, it takes some freaking talent for Madrid to come calling at 13. Doncic made their first team and started playing professionally at just the age of 16. And by the time he was 18, Doncic was the best player in Europe. And by the time he was 20, he became a first-team All-NBA. The Clippers knocked out the Mavs in the first round of playoffs for the second straight season with a 126-11 victory in Game 7. Doncic's performance in this game was even better than that of last season when he made his grand debut on the playoff stage with an overtime buzzer beater. His numbers are even more crazy. 35.7 points on 49% shooting, 10.3 assists, and 7.9 rebounds per game. Against the Lakers, there was nothing they could do to stop him for most of the series. Like a military general, he led his Dallas teammates on the offense, almost creating a high percentage shot for both himself and his teammates. The incredible part about Luka Doncic is that there may not be a defense in the NBA better suited to guarding him. Think about it. The Clippers as a team have two elite perimeter defenders in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, as well as waves of long and switchable wings around them in Marcus Morris, Terrence Mann, and Nicholas Batum. Yet all that didn't matter because it doesn't matter how many good defenders are on the floor. Luka needs only one weak link to attack, regardless of position. He ran both smaller guards like Patrick Beverley and slower big men off the floor. It's a big claim to make, but Doncic is maybe the closest thing we have seen to a prime LeBron James on offense. And the reason is this. Both players are supersized point guards who double as one of the best scorers and passers in the league. They are both always looking for the weak link in the defense, find the mismatch, and open the man once the defense sends help. The difference comes in how they attack. Prime LeBron had an awe-inspiring combination of speed, size, and leaping ability. Luka makes up for what he lacks in those categories with incredible touch and shot making. Given all the considerable talent, mastery of the game, and stats that Luka Doncic has provided in his first 3 seasons in the NBA, it's not surprising that the Dallas Mavericks plan to kick off the offseason by pinning their main man to a max contract extension. However, if the rumors that have been flying around are anything true, they might have much bigger problems on their hands. Although the Mavericks fell short again in the playoffs due to the poor supporting cast around Doncic, the organization has been formulating plans to overhaul the roster in the summer by building a better team around Doncic. And Doncic himself made it no secret that he would sign a Supermax extension, which would see him become one of the league's highest paid earners. And with things turning upside down in just weeks before the offseason, it's hard to say what will happen now. According to The Athletic, The Mavericks are afraid that a dysfunctional front office and poor relationships with the face of the Mavericks team might lead their star man to look for a way to leave the organization in the future. There are also reports that Doncic is still willing to sign a contract extension despite all the drama in Dallas, and a deal is expected to be reached later this summer. The deal will see Doncic bank more than $200 million over 5 seasons once his rookie contract expires after the 2021-22 season. However, the problems in Dallas appear very real. Just moments after Mark Cuban revealed that Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis have clashed a couple times, we are finally getting all the juice concerning the real issues within the Mavericks organization. In 2018, Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban hired Haralabos Voulgaris and made him the team's director of quantitative research and development. Voulgaris, who made a name for himself as a successful gambler in the game, told ESPN sometime back in 2013 that he believed that he could put together a better team than almost any general manager in the league, if not all of them. He quickly gained Cuban's trust and became more involved in the organization. Sources have confirmed that it was Voulgaris that initiated the Seth Curry for Josh Richardson trade, a trade that backfired in a grand level of scale. Donnie Nelson is the Mavericks' current general manager, but many people around the NBA believe that Cuban allows Voulgaris to operate as the shadow GM. A good example of his influence was during the 2020 NBA draft, an evening that one source described as embarrassing. Most members of the scouting department attended the team's war room via Zoom, and were surprised when Voulgaris, attending in person, did not consult them for either of the team's first 2 selections, which were Tyrell Terry and Josh Green. Apart from the fact that Voulgaris' influence irritates his colleagues in the front office, Luka Doncic is not a big fan of the man either. This dislike probably began during a game Voulgaris attended as a Mavericks staffer, and then left with 45 seconds remaining in the game when Dallas trailed by 10. Doncic led a comeback that eventually fell short, but he didn't miss Voulgaris leaving early, and he made sure that he let his teammates know how he felt about it. The most recent incident between Doncic and Voulgaris occurred this season during a game with the Golden State Warriors in the second quarter, when Doncic turned the ball over and Voulgaris motioned for him to calm down. Doncic immediately responded, yelling at the rising Mavericks executive, saying, "Don't tell me to calm down." Another reason why we think Doncic is going to leave is when news broke a few weeks ago that Dallas Mavericks and longtime general manager Donnie Nelson mutually agreed to part ways, and reports suggest that the love was not supported by the franchise's biggest star. When Doncic was asked about his thoughts on Nelson leaving the Mavericks, he said it was tough for him. "It was kind of tough for me. I really like Donnie. I've known him since I was a kid, and he was the one that drafted me. It was tough for me seeing that, but I'm not the one making decisions there," Doncic said while playing with the Slovenian national team. Apart from the fact it's clear that Doncic wasn't pleased with the decision in his interview, in between the lines of his interview are subtle criticisms toward the club leader. Apparently, ever since Voulgaris was hired, Nelson reportedly lost power initially since Voulgaris came on board. This is obviously a terrible move from Cuban, who just gave Doncic another reason to leave the club. And if that does happen, it will be the single greatest player screw-up any team has ever committed in DFW. Even though it was claimed by the club that the decision to let Nelson go was a mutual decision, if you read Doncic's comments even more closely, it appears that Doncic wasn't expecting Nelson's departure, which could mean only one thing: that Donnie was indeed fired. Ever since the departure, Nelson has refused to say anything, and that's probably for a reason. Mark J. Spears, during an appearance on ESPN's The Jump, spoke about how Nelson's departure made Doncic really upset. He said, "Donnie was fired. Let's just be real. Donnie was fired. He's been there since 1988, and I've heard that one guy that's really upset about it is the one guy you don't want upset about it. The one guy, Luka Doncic. They were really, really close. And actually, Doncic is in Slovenia. He's working it out with the Slovenian national team, getting prepared for the Olympics. In terms of the $200 million extension, how are talks going? People close to him are saying, "What talk? There's no talks right now." The truth is, Donnie Nelson was not a brilliant GM, and his time with the Mavericks, especially when you consider the fact that the Mavericks have not won a playoff series, they won the NBA title in 2011. So it makes sense to find a new GM, and president of basketball operations seems like an appropriate move too. But what the Mavericks don't need is to give their main man a single reason to consider different alternatives, which they just did. One thing is clear now, that's that the cards are in Mark's hands. And if there's one thing the NBA has shown over the years, it's that teams wouldn't wait to choose Doncic over an executive. But Mark Cuban operates by his own book, making this one of the biggest storylines of the NBA offseason. Comment below to let us know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot.